All made up? How dare you? Let me speak to your manager, sir. No talking snakes. I demand a talking snake.
You called.
Here is the point. Maybe I should say this for the finishing, but here is the point of the Garden of Eden and
The
the whole
point.
thing. The main point that God meant to say to everyone is, fuck you. I said no, it's no.
God does seem to say that a lot. And okay, I agree. And we'll move back into open conversation in a second.
Who do we got?
Snake, we have been midnight ranting on the Garden of Eden. Holy moly. It's been you the whole time. We've been talking about you. You're the guy that I apparently told the truth and started this whole thing. So it's nice to have a first-person experience from it. How are you, and what are your thoughts?
Hey, guys.
Is it nice being able to talk now? Your
Yes,
vocal cords?
I was blessed by God. But yeah, so thanks for having me on. And so I guess we're talking about the meaning of the Garden of Eden story. And so obviously the name of my channel is Snake Was Right, and that is a biblical reference to the Garden of Eden snake. Some people think it's a reference to Escape from New York, but it's not. So
See, I almost thought it was Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, some people think that too. But
Kurt Russell is always right.
Yeah. So the name behind my channel is basically a commentary on the way that I look at the Genesis story, which is that the snake was right in tempting them to rebel against God. And because the knowledge of good and evil is a good thing, I think. But I take kind of a if you read the biblical story as metaphor and not as a literal, like the point of the story is not to talk about a literal being who is there punishing people. It's to tell a lesson and not just obey God. But the way that I look at biblical stories is God, at least in the Old Testament, is God is not a person. It's the manifestation of a basically the cold, hard judgment of the universe. It's not conscious. It's not a person, but it is just consequences. And so I take kind of a view where I'm not sure if this is how everyone always, the believers view the story. It definitely isn't for a lot of creationists or today, but traditionally I'm not sure. But I think that the way to look at the Bible is as literature and metaphor. So I think that the Garden of Eden story is about how suffering comes with self-awareness, and basically the more knowledge you have, it's a truism. I think they've done studies on it too, but the more intelligent you are, the less happy you are typically, because you become aware of all the problems. And so once you know good and evil, then you become aware that, well, you have problems too. And thus you go from ignorance is bliss into seeing all the problems all around you. And that's how I look at the story. I definitely have problems with literal interpretations, because then it breaks down and it makes no sense, and it's just about an evil tyrant punishing people for no reason, setting up the world knowing they would fail. It's just horrible. And I'm not a Christian. I don't think that there's any value in the biblical stories beyond just pure literature. So that's where I'm at.
Woohoo. Well, thank you so very much, Snake. And
Yes,
if you
thank you.
too have thoughts about the subject, you can find the link in chat. We are midnight ranting in the Garden of Eden. And Snake, I would say that's almost a Satanist point. I agreed with a lot of what you said. And I think that's where a lot of the Satanists, even the ones that aren't literalists, come from.
Right.
Because it does
Like you
seem
said,
like he was the good guy. What were you saying, James?
like you said, you even said like if you like even if you were convinced that the God of the Bible was real, at that point you'd be on Team Satan because even if he existed, you wouldn't deny that he existed, but he's a dick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's rebelling against tyranny is a good thing, and I think awareness is a big part of that too.
And this is what I think. I think that there's actually even a lot of the Christians out there who probably say to themselves, like they read these things and it's like they know that this God sounds like a jerk. He sounds like an asshole. They don't really think he deserves to be worshipped, but they also don't want him to burn them forever. So I think a lot of them just go along with the motion just because they're afraid of him. But deep down, I think a lot of them don't really like him. They don't really love him or want to worship him. They just feel like they don't have any other option.
Well, I think it's kind of a Stockholm syndrome situation where, yeah, normally they would have the perspective that it's evil, but they kind of have to psychologically cope with the fact
Right.
that
Absolutely.
they have to deal with an abuser.
They reinterpret it. Like I see it, they almost get excited. They're like, we worship, and he's, it's funny. We fear him. Oh, it feels so good to just fear him.
But
we love him. He loves
you
us.
Have a problem. You have a problem with the book of Job. Because that's just God being an outright dick.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to think about that as far as literature. I think definitely some of the stories are just believe or die.
If you read the book of Job, Job is a good man. That's the premise of the book.
Yeah, I think that,
and it says that God punishes him for being a good man.
Yeah, but
just to see what he'll do.
If the stories don't contain any real metaphorical lesson beyond that, I don't think they have any like value beyond just being literature. It's just a worship or die kind of leftover. But I think there are. There is good literature.
My problem. That's my problem with belief.
Yeah.
Not with the literature. The literature is, well, it's sort of half-assed. I'm a writer, and I could write better shit than that. So
a way better 10 Commandments we could do on a napkin.
Yeah. And I could write like any creation story better than the one.
It's like what I said.
They
get a better morality from a drunk, homeless meth addict sleeping under a bridge, and you could ask him for morality, and he'd probably give you a better version than the God of the Bible. You could ask him, hey, under what circumstances would it be okay to sell your child into slavery? Even he would probably get that wrong and say you would never want to do that. Really? Oh, okay.
And okay, we'll go back into open conversation in a second.
Here we go.
I think she's actually on the phone. I'll bring her in a second. I can't tell if she's on the phone or not. No, she's good. Then we are midnight ranting on the Garden of Eden. Amaretto, how are you?
Boy.
And what are your thoughts about the subject or anything?
Lilith incarnate. Come on.
Oh man, how can you talk about the Garden of Eden and Adam and Eve and stuff and forget about the Lilith, the first demon, the first woman who rejected Adam? My hero, first boss bitch. She said, "Fuck your shit," and was like, "I'm out." No, so Snake brings up kind of a good point, and that's kind of my view as far as like how to take the Bible because of my stance on it and how it's been curated. I kind of view it as like the same level as Aesop's Fables. Like, there's some pretty fucked up shit in there, sure. I think there's some stuff where it's you treat it like literature. So I don't think it's something that you should be taking 100%, you know, as historical fact by any means. So that's just kind of like my little input on it. That's pretty much it. I'm just kind of chilling. I just sort of like.
I would disagree.
Well,
that's
Ken.
the moral.
I mean, Ken can go back to like telling dad jokes at like the cul-de-sac for all I care. I mean, I'm watching him trying to science science his position together was interesting, to say the least. And by interesting, I mean like. It reminds me of the dude who has like the historical Ark Museum in like like Tennessee or something like that, where he was trying to say there were dinosaurs. Yeah, it reminds me of like Ken Ham kind of BS, and I'm like, not sure that things really work the way that you're saying. Although, you know, I'm kind of intrigued, you know, by his. I'm like, can I grow like a giant marijuana plant with classical music? I'm like let's put this, you know, let's test this shit out. Like I'm down. You know what? I'm growing some tomatoes this year. I'll just like start playing Beethoven and freaking use these baby Einstein videos behind me. I'll just play them to the plants and let's see what happens.
Apparently not, because Kent's tech guy still has to go to Colorado to get it every couple months. So that's what I hear. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I guess he can't really grow it like super good there.
Does he pay the tech guy? Like, we call him Kent's tech guy, but is it Kent's tech guy or is it tech slave? I hope that it's tech.
There are people there who do get like he's got a couple tiers of money. Like, there's people there that just get room and board, and then there's people there that get a little bit, and then I guess he's probably gets paid like more than anybody else.
You're a high rung cult bitch, basically.
Yeah. You probably get your own room, and
Kent has a general plan. It's that anyone can come and live on his place for the first day. The second day, he puts you to work.
Now, it's not slavery.
So,
it's
not slavery.
Poverty program.
Totally not slavery. They are just paying you with home and food.
Kind of sounds like how some of the African Americans were treated after the Civil War. Still kind of sounds like some sharecropping bullshit to me.
Come and give me a massage. We do know he does like to get sexy massages. At DAL.
That's going to be for the OnlyFans. That's for the after party.
I want to make a Kent Hovind OnlyFans and just shop it out to people.
Okay, about OnlyFans, I just saw an ad
on porn.
On YouTube for OnlyFans.
It's not necessarily porn.
Basically that's the ad. It's like, he's on OnlyFans, and she comes in and he's like, oh, it's not only porn. Look, there's more stuff. So technically, you could have a Kent Hovind,
a Jesus OnlyFans. Yeah.
Just a website of OnlyFans. They're all glowing. There's my dad joke of the day. Or that was Facebook dad joke. Yeah.
That's gonna be the new account. It's gonna be just, you know, us doing fan reviews. That or you know,
is driven by porn.
Jesus Hub.
Woohoo! Jesus Hub. Kent Hub, baby. The Rule 34, it has to happen.
Come on, Amy. Daddy needs a massage.
Everyone listening is like, okay, I'm glad you just said it has to happen. I'm going to go take the bleach, and we're going to pour it into every orifice that I could just...
Oh, honey, you're too stained for that. That's you needed the bleach like 20 years ago. Let's be real.
No, I mean they've said it's amazing. You put the bleach in there and the disinfectant, and it just kills the virus like that. Do we have any way, Amy, that we could get that into the lungs? No.
Go right in there. Go right in.
It just eliminates it like that. No.
He was saying weird stuff. I'm like,
he kind of did, yeah.
I had to like dip out a little bit because I was like trying to do laundry and clean up the chaos that is my house. But yeah, I'm literally like, how long did it take for them to put this together?
He's been doing this since like the late 80s. Like this presentation. This one I think was like from 03, 04, but he's been doing it for like 15 years before that.
He said in the presentation it's 05. So
that's scary. Though.
Was it 05? Okay, yeah, early 2000s.
Yeah.
But he didn't even update it. Like there's new science that
most of it was older.
Everything.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I would have thought like with everything that he like it literally looked like something out of the 90s. So it's like
no. That video was like 2015 or 16, I think.
He's been doing
it's just like the production values and some of the stuff that they he was using. I'm like, this looks like I grew up without cable and satellite, so it's like the 3 a.m. when you're up late during summer vacation and there's nothing on but infomercials. Like this, that's the vibe it kind of gave me. It's like this is
my VHS tape.
Yeah,
VHS.
yeah.
No, but Wise Rhino is doing a review on a lot of those videos that his son Eric Hovind is doing. And they're all the same. It's exactly the same material. They haven't changed it.
Well, sometimes the script is identical.
Yeah, word by word. It's not even.
Yeah, what happened is because when Kent Hovind went to the dungeon and was locked up, all his stuff transferred to his son, and his son kept it all, and including his church and all the material in it.
So it's old.
So it is the actual same material.
Eric Hovind went to jail in 2011, if I'm not misremembering, and he sat for 4 years. So it's 2000.
I don't think Eric went to jail.
The other,
no, Kent.
Yeah,
Eric was in jail for 9 years. Yeah.
Amaretto
for prison for tax evasion.
He calls himself a taxivist, and so that's
he was basically money laundering.
That's
why. Oh my god!
Child of God!
I got an article in Forbes up right now. 58 counts. Holy crap!
And that's why people like Titan Uranus will come in here and he'll be like, "Kent, I don't know Kent Hovind. Don't you mean number 4670? Your inmate number."
That's from R and Ra because Ken Hovind refused to call him R and Ra. He insisted on calling him Larry Nelson, which is. It said L. Nelson, so he would just call him, what's the L mean, Larry? So I haven't seen a birth certificate that says R and Ra, so I'm just going to call him Larry.
And okay, guys, I think it's been a fantastic night. We have been midnight ranting on the Garden of Eden.
Fantastic.
Baby. We'll be back for more skeptical adventures, but we are going to move into our
miming.
Our miming. And okay, everybody, we've been speaking about the Garden of Eden. Somebody please remind Ken Hovind that. Amaretto or Lilith. Ooh. I hope you had at least a fun time. And what are your final thoughts about the subject or anything that we've been talking about?
I'm telling you, I'm just going to start playing classical music for my plants, and I'm just going to see. I just, let me have like that huge ass tomato harvest. I will take it. Bitch is broke. Got to eat. So, but. Otherwise, if anybody wants to come chit chat with me on Twitter, when they were as Amaretto Kitten, doing a lot of stuff more in the socio-political and mental health realms, as always. And also everybody say a prayer for the family of George Floyd, because this trial is getting really, really crazy for anybody who's been following the news on that. And cross our fingers, like hopefully we get justice served. That would be nice. But otherwise, thanks for having me, and we will chit chat again, everybody.
Woohoo! And okay, we're moving down. Snake, we have been midnight ranting on the Garden of Eden. I will say, an amazing slice of fruit and a snake seems to have gotten us in trouble. So I feel like you may have some final thoughts.
A vegetarian snake, especially a vegetarian snake.
Yes, yes. At least I once was. But yeah, I think knowledge can get you into trouble, can lead to suffering, but I think the truth is worth it. It's always worth it to know the truth, and knowing good from evil is a good thing, not a bad thing. And yeah.
You mean knowledge is good?
Right,
Yeah.
amen. All right, and with that, thank you so very much. It was great. We had the snake, the guy that I wouldn't say it started it all, because I really think this is Yahweh's fault.
The
Once again, it's parenting 101. Yeah, exactly. It's a scapegoat. But moving right along, Mubarak, we have been midnight ranting on the Garden of Eden, one of the first stories in the Bible. I hope you had a good time, and what are your final thoughts?
Well, it's a good story, but I wish Kent have actually told the story rather than just going on rants. And it's more interesting reading it in the Bible than in the Quran. But I have to note something. I will
I'll
give
summarize
that. You're like the Quran actually blame Adam and Eve. It's not just the blame on Eve. So because they both did it, no matter who started it. So I don't know. Maybe Allah is more wiser than Yahweh in that case. But it's a really interesting story if you take it and compare it to the original work of the Middle East history, and it's put it in a better way. That's all I have.
Well, thank you so very much, Mubarak.
Thank you, Mubarak.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see how different gods, I mean, they'll say it's the same one, but whatever, different interpretations or whatever, handle different situations.
Different Kents. Different Kents.
And okay, moving right along and saying hi to Big Screen Bird. That is okay, because we're sending you
Hey,
so
Bird.
many.
He was in here before. I guess he didn't make it on.
Yeah, but that's okay, because in a second you can watch the whole stream, and then people can leave comments below. And okay, Flum, we have been midnight ranting on the Garden of Eden. I hope you had a good time tonight, and what are your final thoughts?
Robert Oppenheimer said, I am the bringer of evil. I am the destroyer of worlds.
David Hasselhoff? Bob Barker? Sting? No?
Listen, I give Sting some more credit than that, okay? Listen. That's...
I'm grasping at straws here, Amaretto. Sorry.
And okay, thank you so very much, Flum.
I said Robert Oppenheimer. If you don't know who he is, you should look it up. He created the atom bomb.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, and he
said, "I am the destroyer of worlds."
Oh no, I did. I do
So
remember that quote.
I think this is why they epic rap battles, they paired him up against Thanos, I think, because of that quote.
Yeah, and he actually was quoting one of the Hindu texts.
Yes, from the Vedas. Yes.
From the betas.
And okay, Kathy, I will check that out. I will say we do love some sweet old low-hanging fruit. In fact, we wanted to do Ken Hovind because Ken Hovind was supposed to do a debate tonight, and we were supposed to be doing the after show.
Yeah.
But I think Kent may have tied his shoes together, and so he had a fall. And I'm just making all of this up as I go along, but it was terrible.
Internet's bad, you know.
His internet,
the AL
yeah,
internet,
so-
yeah.
He fell and hit his
God
head,
did-
and he has to like caulk it up every night.
Probably that snake had something to do with it. To
I'm
cut off
telling,
his internet.
it's always the snake's fault. Always
snake.
blame it on the snake. That darn snake.
Buy Bird's books
Don't tell.
and VHS tapes. That's it. And tapes.
Instead of Tom and Jerry, we have Kent Hovind and the snake.
It's a snake, it's a snake. And okay, we're moving along. James, take us home. We have been midnight ranting on the Garden of Eden. Once again, someone tell Kent Hovind that, but James, the floor is yours.
So I'll just summarize it real quick because we didn't get to hear a lot about the garden from Kent. So this is just a quick version of it. So, you know, there was God, and the first thing he did was he just made everything. He made everything. And there was a garden on earth, and he put Adam and Eve, whatever. Short version, he put Adam and Eve in the garden, and they were naked, and they didn't understand anything about clothes. They didn't really actually understand much of anything because they hadn't eaten from the tree. Now, there's a tree that God put in the center of the garden. This is the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. It's the tree of knowledge, the tree of knowing things. And he said, don't eat the fruit. It's a very bad fruit. If you eat that fruit, you're going to know things, and it'll be bad. You guys won't be able to worship me properly the way that I designed you. So don't eat the fruit. It'll all be okay. And yeah. And so he walked away. I guess he had other things to do anyway. But then the devil, Satan, he came into the garden, but he didn't just come as himself because that would be obvious. He chose a disguise, and he disguised himself as a talking snake with legs, a vegetarian talking snake with legs. And then he went over to Eve, and he just started saying these terrible, just inhuman things like knowledge is good, being ignorant is not good. Education is a good thing. And Eve was trying to remember what God says. I know we can't, knowledge is not good. God doesn't want us to be smart. He doesn't want us to know all that. But that damn devil, he just kept on nailing, you have to know stuff. You have to be smart. And, after a while, she gave in. She ate the fruit. And then she called over Adam, and he ate some. And just then what happened is God came by. And he said, he's like, where are you guys? You couldn't find them. And he wasn't omniscient right at that moment, but they were in the bushes and they were putting the clothes. So he's like, how do you guys know that you're naked? And he's like, what's going on? Did you eat the fruit? Did you eat the fruit? What's going on? And then, of course, they come clear. Yeah, we ate the fruit. And God gets real mad and all because he told them not to eat it, but they ate it anyway. So he gets real mad, and he's like, all right, I'm going to kick you out of the garden. Painful childbirth. You'll have to work hard to make crops grow and everything. But that's not all he did either. No. He looked at the devil, Satan, who had tricked them. Well, no. He didn't really talk to the devil. He actually didn't address the devil, but he looked at that snake, that non-sentient animal that the devil had possessed, and he was mad. He's like, how could you have done this? I mean, it wasn't your fault, but still I'm mad. So he's like, I'm just going to take your legs away. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to take your legs away. You'll have to crawl on your belly and eat dust. And we know that this is true because snakes eat dust today. So that's just a quick rendition of it. It's all true. It all really happened that way. Go to Kent's channel, watch his DVDs, buy his VHS tapes, buy his books, drink plenty of water, and yeah, amen. Amen.
Amen. Ramen.
Ramen. Aaron Ra's got his girdle and his bonnet and his breastplate of truth.
That's right. His bi-curious girdle and the breastplate of truth that, just like Wonder Woman's lasso, once you get that baby on, they have to speak the truth. Now, it is a little difficult trying to get a breastplate on every enemy, but what can I tell you? Sticks these days. Okay, I hope you all had a fun time on this night's Midnight Ranting, the Garden of Eden, where we watched SpongeBob's nemesis, Kent Hovind, attempt to talk about the Garden of Eden. We'll be back to finish part 2 of his seminar so we can finish out the subject. I want to thank James W. with our guest hosts, Flum, Organic Jerk, Mubarak, Snake, and Amaretto, along with all the lovely people in chat who make this stream so much fun, and our mods who keep everything awesome. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that all button icon so you can be part of our live streams on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook, or come join us at our Discord for some memeing fun. Finally, if you'd like to help make some more awesome content to support the channel, feel free to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Amy Newman. I'm Amy Newman, and I'll see you all on the next episode of Skeptic Ball Z.